Hey guys, so it is early on a Sunday morning in the first weekend of March, and I actually still have a whole bunch of February boxes that came in right at the last minute that I haven't had an opportunity to do any filming or unboxing for. So I decided this morning before starting the day and getting all my homework and all of that stuff that I'm just going to knock out a bunch of filming and unboxing for these. So thank you so much for joining me at whatever hour or day it is for you, but it's very early in the morning for me right now. So that's why I have the deep morning voice going on. I do apologize for that. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and start off with a box that I already know is going to be a disappointment to me, only because I spoilered it for myself by watching other people's videos. And if you do watch other people unboxing things on YouTube, you may have already seen this as well. This is the BAM box for February, and the theme on this one is the 90s. There were a lot of people who had really high hopes for this one. Apparently the 80s box was awesome. That was one that I had missed out on, so I'm really bummed because the 80s is really more about my decade. But there were a lot of people who were really looking forward to the 90s box because of what the 80s box offered. And from what I've seen so far, there's been a lot of disappointment, and a lot of people have been commenting on some missed opportunities. So it has me a little concerned for the BAM box right now, especially coming on the heels of the November adult cartoon box, which drew a lot of negative criticism to their box and to their subscriptions. So I'm hoping that this is just going to be a one-off and that they're going to kind of rally and be successful. The anniversary box was fine for me. The Legends box was fine for me. So hopefully this will be just a one-off. So let's go ahead and open it up, and I'll show you, in case you haven't seen it yet, what's inside the BAM box. The BAM box is a monthly subscription box which provides collectibles to the geek and gamer community, and their kind of their shtick is that they include an autographed item in every box, and there is an opportunity or a chance to receive additional autographed items or additional bonus items that are kind of random drops in different boxes. So there's kind of that element of a lottery feel to it, and they've had a lot of really great boxes, and then recently they've had some that are not so much. So definitely check out past videos of BAM boxes, not only on my channel but on other people's channels if you want to go back further. I've only been a subscriber since November, which my first box was the adult cartoon box, and that was an interesting experience. But definitely check it out and see if this is something that you are interested in. Link is down below for the actual subscription, so be sure to check out pricing and shipping availability to you. So let's go ahead and show you what was in the BAM 90s box. And what I would suggest is, if you have an opportunity, go check out the video, the unboxing video for the Border Geek. If I can remember, I'll include a link to that down below too, because Derek does a really good job of explaining why this box and what was included with this box was disappointing to a lot of people. So the very first thing on top of the box, or in every box, is a custom pin. And usually the pin is one of 3 or 4 different variations, and there are some that are more rare than others. The pins are custom made for the box, which is nice, and they're usually pretty cool, so a lot of people really look forward to the pins. The one that I got this time was the Furby, and I'm on it. I didn't have a Furby when I was in the 90s. I was in college by then, so a lot of the toy references are not really something that I know about Furbies, but I certainly didn't have one. The other one that was a common was the Super Soaker, and I'll show you a picture of that when we get to the spoiler booklet. I probably would have preferred that one because at least that was a little bit more relevant to my late night college experiences than a Furby would be. But I'm kind of on that. Anyway, onward. Next we have the poster, which from my understanding is signed by the person who put the poster together. And there's one of 3 variations on this one. And the one that I got was the one that I would least want. So it is kind of a throwback to the old-fashioned fight posters. And this particular one, it is signed. And it is Dr. Evil versus Austin Powers. I didn't like Austin Powers. I actually hated that movie. I hated the whole franchise. So this is a miss for me. So if you are an Austin Powers fan, maybe this would be something that would appeal to you, but it doesn't to me. The other variations that they had were something from Saved by the Bell, which also wouldn't appeal to me because I didn't watch that show. And the third one was a Matrix reference. So that would have been the only one that I would have been happy with. Next up we have, so here's the box, and I actually really like the box. I think it's cool. And what is inside of here is a teaspoon, a silver teaspoon. And let's see, I don't know if the glare is going to come off of that. I'm going to have to check the footage to see if you can see it. But printed on the spoon is the phrase from Seinfeld's Soup Nazi, no soup for you. And it's a weighty spoon. It's a decent, quality spoon. But the problem with this type of collectible is, and it's something that both the Border Geek and Jason and Tracy pointed out at Tracy's basement. Jason and Tracy at Tracy's basement, is that this is it. There's no display stand. There's no point of reference to it. It's just a spoon. And so in order for me to display something like this, I would actually have to make a concerted effort to find a way to package this, to hang it, to do something with it. And then other than the phrase printed on it, there's no point of reference. So this to me is more like an inside joke that I would have created for a friend of mine who really loves Seinfeld and given it to that person as a gift. That would be, it's like a gag gift, and that would be appropriate. In a collectibles box, this kind of feels half-assed. And, I'm not necessarily looking for things that are going to have high value. For me, that's not the real point of collectibles boxes. I'm looking for neat stuff for myself. But for the stuff that I'm not going to use, I want it to have some sort of value that would be enticing to someone else. This is just a spoon unless I find somebody who is completely over the top, head over heels in love with a Seinfeld series, and then it might delight them. But as kind of a casual collectible, it serves more purpose in my silverware drawer than it does as a collectible. So the signed item this time around is a hockey puck. And it's signed by, and this I do like, the certificate of authenticity actually identifies who signed it and provides a picture, which I like because sometimes on their certificate of authenticity there is no identifying information. But this is signed by Matt Doherty, who played Les Averman in The Mighty Ducks. So in and of itself, the item is kind of cool, but as Derek at the Border Geek has pointed out, the problem with this, and it looks like I have somewhat of the same problem that he had, is that it looks like the Sharpie that was being used on the signature has started dying out, so the signature is kind of faded and not crisp. And if it wasn't for the certificate of authenticity, this is basically a silver scribble on a plain black hockey puck. There's nothing identifying to it. There's no way to display it. So in order to actually display this as a collectible, I have to put together something to display it. And I'm not that big of a fan of the Mighty Ducks. It was okay. It was, you know, fine. But I'm not going to put forth the effort to do that kind of work. So to me, this is just a silver signed hockey puck in a plastic bag that's going to have to stay that way in order to make sure that the certificate of authenticity stays with it. So, and the last thing in here is probably for me, just in general, the most useful, and that's just because I happen to like stuffed animals, and there's a lot of little girls in my life who would like this. But as a collectible, it's it's a Beanie Baby. So it looks like I got a rainbow Beanie Baby bear. What's his name? Let's see. This is Sammy. So I got Sammy the Rainbow Bear collectible Beanie Baby. It does look like he's new, so I do appreciate that. He's nice and crisp and clean. But, you know, yes, that was a fad for the 90s, and it's kind of a funny throwback reference. But really, as a collectible, there's no use in this. There's no value in this. You know, the whole tragic thing that happened with Beanie Babies and that whole collapse of things, it's kind of funny and sad, but there's no value in collecting this other than it bringing some surprise and delight to a 3-year-old girl that I know. Other than that, I don't understand why this was included. This seems like it's more appropriate for the retro pop boxes, and in fact I have seen them include Beanie Babies in the retro pop 90s box. It may sound strange, but I've come to expect more from the BAM box than that, so so anyway, so those are all of the items in the 90s box, and I can definitely understand why it's generated such disappointment. This was definitely a very box for me. Let me go ahead and show you what the options were. So here are the different options for the pins. And again, I got the Furby one. I would have rather had the Super Soaker. And then the hockey pucks, you could have had them either signed in silver or gold, or apparently barely working Sharpie. The Beanie Babies were random. You could get a rare one or not a rare one. And then it says look for some rare ones that may show up in boxes. But since I'm not a Beanie Baby collector, I wouldn't know what was rare, what was not. I'm hoping that the people who did get the rare ones, they actually have some sort of identification in there telling them that, because otherwise I don't know who would know. And then here are the poster options. Again, I got Austin Powers. The only one that I would have really liked, I think, would have been the Matrix one. And even so, it's not something I would hang up. It just would have been something that I would have collected, or kept. Next month is Indestructible. That's the theme. And I'm really, really, really crossing my fingers that that box is decent, because if it's not, I'm probably going to give up on it. It hasn't lived up to what I was hoping based off of what I'd seen, and which invited me to give it a try in the first place. I'm definitely disappointed in this one, and I'm actually more disappointed in this one than I was in the adult cartoons box. So, and that says a lot. Honestly, the only two things that I would have potentially liked would have been the pin, and I didn't like the one that I got, and the poster, and I didn't like the one that I got. So no luck for me on this time around. Let me know what you think about the BAM box and whether or not you actually liked these items. From what I've been seeing on other videos, it does not seem like the odds are in their favor for people who actually enjoyed this box, but never know. There's probably somebody out there who really, really dug it. So if you're one of those people, let me know, because at least that'll help foster some hope in me that the BAM box was a good box for somebody out there. So anyway, we're gonna move on. I'm gonna film some more videos of some other things that hopefully will make me a lot happier. So join me next month and we will check out BAM box again, and it may be kind of the last hurrah for the BAM box. We'll see what happens next month. We'll see you then. Bye.